Think you can make a candy cane design in less than 10 minutes? Yes, you can, and I'm going to show you how using our Young Nails Ombre Pat Gels and our Nail Art Stencils. So I'm going to start by simply removing shine from our tip. And today we're using a long coffin, and we're using our new desktop electric file. We use our swipe, pump a little bit of that onto our manicure brush. We're going to cleanse off that nail. And then we'll apply one coat of our protein bond all the way from cuticle to free edge. And we're going to start with a white base. And the gel polish that we're using today is called Nerdvana. This is a really nice bright white. It's going to give you a really crisp design. Polish that on again from cuticle to free edge. Nice even coat all the way through. And you can see how pigmented this color is. It's going to be a really bright white. Nice and smooth, nice and even. It's not going to look streaky. So one nice smooth even coat. We're going to cure that for a minimum of 30 seconds. All right, so our first layer is cured out. If you feel like you need a second coat of the white, you can absolutely apply a second. If you feel like you've got good coverage, you can skip the second coat. I think I'm going to do a second coat here today just to make sure that I've got full coverage all the way through the nail. We'll just apply another thin coat, and then again we'll cure this for another minimum of 30 seconds. All right, so our second coat of gel polish is cured out. Now our gel polish does have a very slightly tacky finish to it, so we're going to be using our Nail Art Stencils and our Ombre Pat Gel. So in the pack of the Nail Art Stencils you have 3 different sheets, so some different designs in there. The first sheet is going to be a little bit more of an oval kind of a shaped smile line. And then we also have a little bit more of an elongated smile line. Now notice that this one does come in a wider and then all the way down to a more narrow look. And then on our third sheet here we have 3 different shapes. We've got the more kind of a neutral smile line, same thing on the other side, just even more of a shallow smile line. And then we've got the chevron in the middle. So you can pick and choose which ones you want. On today's look, I'm actually going to use one of the medium sizes from kind of that shallow smile line. And then I'm going to use one of the smaller, more narrow ones. So you can see on here we've got a little bit of a thinner line and then a couple thicker lines. Mix and match, create whatever kind of designs you want. But our gel polish does have a very slightly tacky surface to it. So I'm going to take my tweezer. We're going to peel off, and also the Nail Art Stencils also have a slightly tacky surface to the back of them as well. So we're going to stick that sticky surface to the sticky surface to give really good adhesion. And I'm just using my tweezers, peeling that off. We're going to set that right down onto the nail and just kind of running the tweezer over there, holding that into place. And then we'll grab a second one, same size on that one. And when I peel these off, I just kind of fold that backing over to kind of release those masks, release those stencils from the paper. We'll take our second one on there, set that right down, secure that down. And then I'm going to take one of the smaller ones. Again, peel that off, and we're going to set that towards the top. So you want to make sure that you are securing those stencils down onto the nail, adhering those really well. And one other little trick that I like to do is I like to use our stamping tool, and I'll just run that right over the top, just kind of roll it over and help to secure those stencils down. So the color that we're going to be using for our red is called Textify My Love, and I'm going to open that container up. I'm going to flip the top open, and you're going to see that little elastic mesh in there. And we're going to take our claw tool, and that's how we're going to grab onto our sponge. I'm just going to grab one little sponge in there. I always like to have an extra table towel here just in case I need to dab my sponge on there to get rid of any excess. So I'm going to have that ready to go. I'm going to take my sponge and press that right down into that elastic mesh, and that's going to allow me to pick up a good amount of the gel. Load up my sponge, and then we'll just press that and pat and dab that all the way through those empty spaces, so all the way through the white, pressing that out nice and even. I'll grab a little bit more, patting all the way through. Now when I get up to the cuticle area, I want to be a little bit more careful that I'm staying right on that nail and I'm not getting the product on the skin. If you do accidentally get a little bit of that onto the skin, just make sure you clean that off right away before you cure. You don't want to be curing that onto the skin. This is a gel, and if you do cure it, it will stick to the skin. So just make sure you're a little bit more cautious when working around the cuticle area. Pat that all the way through. And then if you need to, you can grab a little bit of our onto the next polish remover or swipe and our polish perfector detail brush and just clean up right around those edges. Now I think on this nail I do want to do a second coat of my color, so I'm going to leave the masks on at this point. And then we'll go ahead and cure. Now, if you only needed one coat of the color, you could take the masks off and then cure. Personal preference, either way is gonna work just fine. So we're gonna cure that for a minimum of 30 seconds. Okay, so that first coat is cured out, at least set into place. We can go ahead and do our second coat, and you can make these colors as dark as you want them just by adding an extra coat. So if we wanted that lighter red, we could have just left it with one coat, but if we want it just a little bit deeper, a little bit richer, we can add a second coat. So again, just using my sponge, pressing all the way through, patting that color all the way onto the nail. And I'm actually going to kind of clean off the edges of my sponge here a little bit. I'm just going to kind of rotate that onto my table towel. And I'm even going to use the edge or kind of the corner of my brush to get right up into that cuticle area, making sure I'm not touching the skin. So just a little trick to get a little bit closer to that cuticle area. Okay, again, if I did need to, I can use my onto the next polish remover or swipe to just clean up any little bits that may have come in contact with the skin. At this point, I'm going to remove those masks. Just peel those off, and you can actually reuse those. So if you wanted to go onto your next nail, you could set that down onto your next nail. Again, peel those off, just gently grabbing the edge of that, peeling those right off and revealing your beautiful design. We'll pop that back into the light for another minimum of 30-second cure. So our nail is cured out, and you can see how crisp and how sharp those designs are because those masks really set down nicely onto that surface of the gel polish. So beautiful crisp lines. Now we're going to finish our nail with our gel polish top coat. So you could use your stain resistant top coat, you could use the ultimate finish top coat, whichever you choose, whichever you prefer. I do like our new gel polish top coat because it's a nice thin top coat. It goes on super easy, and when it cures, it is a tack-free finish, so you don't have to worry about cleansing that tacky surface. So that's going to go back into our light for a full 60-second cure. All right, so our nail is all cured out, and now you can see how quick and easy that was to do, that beautiful candy cane design for the holidays. And if you're looking to stock up on these products for the holidays or for any other time, these are available individually. You can get the Nail Art Stencils, you can get the ombre sponges, and you can get the ombre sponge tool individually, or they are also part of a bundle deal along with our Ombre Pat Gels in the acrylic mystery box for Black Friday. So if your clients are getting ready for the holidays and you're getting ready for the holidays and you're looking for that quick and easy candy cane design, we got you covered.